So Veronica Vega one dropped herself. She said on Love and Hip Hop reunion, she said she black. She said she black, y'all. She black, y'all. She black, 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 black. Okay, so let me break it down. Veronica Vega is a light-skinned, Hispanic, Latina, Afro-mestiza. She is part Cuban, part Venezuelan. Okay? Just like Maria Conchita Alonso. She's also part Cuban, part Venezuelan. And, Mariah Carey's part Venezuelan. Her dad was part African American, part Hispanic, Latino, Venezuelan, because their last name was Nunez. Okay, Roberto Nunez was her grandfather, and he changed to Robert Carey and married Hattie Cole, who was African American descent. Okay, maybe make some Native American whites like all of us are. We're not pure black in this country. Okay, so just like Trina, who's Dominican and Bahamian. Okay, and she's mixed, but she says she's black. So Veronica Vega, everybody thinks she's a white girl. First of all, she is not pure white. You can look and tell with them. Indeed, she's a little bit African, but the most mixed the ethnic features and them dark eyes. She's not a full-blown white woman. Okay, she's mixed. Okay, but her fair skin and that fake blonde hair. Talking about fake wigs on my nigga, but she got fake blonde hair and sometimes wear weave with the blonde weave. Okay, with her blonde hair, that's not naturally hers. She can pass for a white woman. It's no different. A yellow bone from here, okay? A high yellow bone sister. You think, well, blonde, dyed, bleach hair, she has naturally blonde, and there are some yellow bones in our community who have naturally blonde hair. Let's call it like it is. But let's say she walking down the street, yellow bone, and blonde hair, and you walk and you didn't see her face until she takes the shades off, and you say, wait, there ain't no damn white girl. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It lucky at Terry Crews in the movie White Chicks, it wasn't they happen that scene. Anyway, the point is, that's exactly what we dealing with. Okay, so she was confronted because she been using the word nigga. And I'm not for Latinos using the word nigga. And I'm part Hispanic, Latino, Spanish, Creole, okay? Spain went to Louisiana, tour from Texas, so I got roots, partial roots from Louisiana. And Real, that's the last name of my ancestry on my mom's side. That's not my last name, but that's my fourth grandfather's last name. They changed his route, so that makes he part Latino too, because Spanish Creole, he was black Spanish Creole, okay? He was a mixed mulatto, 19, I don't know if it was crowded on whatever it was, but he had Spanish, he had Spanish, and it wasn't just owned by a master, they mixed in too, okay? So in Louisiana, everybody know French and Spanish and African and Native, okay? And the Creole culture in Louisiana. So they say his parents were from Louisiana on the census, okay? So anyway, which makes sense, okay? Because he wasn't from Louisiana, he had to be from Mexico, because this used to be Mexico, Texas used to be Mexico, okay? But anyway, point is, so that's the whole reason why, okay? So, as African American, French, Spanish, Creole, English, the American man, who people see me as black, I'm not dark chocolate like West Nights or Akon. That's the true black that came on the ship. It's a nice mix, but look more, saying, but the people that came on the ship was dark chocolate, okay? As a camera skin brother, I had the card like it is. Yes, she is partially black, okay? She not full-blown black. I'm not for the one-drop rule. I'm not for the N-word. I can't tell nobody what to say, but don't call me the damn N-word, okay? Because it will be cussed out. And I cuss you out in Spanish and English, okay? To the point you will be confused when I say it in Spanglish, okay? When I cuss your ass out, Veronica, don't play that Vero. Vero is they call Veronica. Girl's last name. You know what girl's first name? Veronica, they call for short Vero. Vero, R's, Vero. Because I speak Spanish, took it in high school, and took it also in college, and I've been speaking for since 95. So that's why I speak Spanish. 24 years, okay? I've been speaking Spanish. It's 23 years. Yeah, 24 years. Okay. Then, yeah. Okay. No, it's not 24 years. It's 23. It is 23 years. Okay. Around that time. Okay, point is. So, that's the whole reason why that and I learned it, but it's funny when I actually kind of did more research on my ancestry, found out I am connected to Spain, okay? Some type of Hispanic connection, okay? It's funny to be speaking Spanish all the time with the school, the body dance, all that cumbias, dance, the Tejano music and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Dance salsa, well, I don't know how to dance salsa, but I know dance to it. I love reggaeton, living El Paso, Chuta, right there by Mexico, okay? And then I know I was a part Hispanic brother, okay? Well, just like George Lopez probably he was Afro-Mestizo, Afro-Mexican, okay, down the DNA test, okay? But I did the old school research, okay? And like I say, you never know what you've been told. People lie, and then the racist government try to deny mixed ancestry. Okay, just recently they said 20% of Americans now say it's immoral, and I'm sorry, I call that moral, but I'm glad I'm blessed. I'm cursed with a blessing. Okay, my ancestry, my heritage, I'm very proud of. Okay, so I don't have no problem. Thank you, God, for giving me a multiracial background on both my mom and dad's side. They're not full blown black. Nobody. I don't advocate one drop rule and all that. But she one drop rule herself. And one thing that people get annoyed, and I'm gonna tell it like it is. It is not too much to look, because we know our history. Look at Walter White. Walter White, like a white man. Look at Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall, you saw that he's a Mexican, okay, or some Puerto Rican, some exotic looking he was, okay. Me and Charles, Dr. Charles Drew, and Dr. Danrich. You know, she was a black American, black Jamaican, Mexican, and part white and part Native American woman. Okay, you know, y'all don't know y'all history. That mean the first and you lead a horn, exotic looking as she was. Okay, you know, she was part black, Portuguese, and Native American, and some other. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. So she wasn't a full blown black woman. She don't even look like her. She don't look like Lupita Nyong'o. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about Lena Horne. So when y'all with that she not black and uneducated, just like Juju told stupid young Hollywood, the African ship did not come. The slave ship did not just jump in Africa. It went to Latin America too. And many Latinos you that don't look black today, including Mexicans, including Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, besides Spanish and Native, they had African roots. A lot of Afro Latino slaves mixed. Me being from Texas, cannot deny African ancestry in Mexico because the idea of the Alamo was about slavery. Okay, the second president, my hero that I would love to portray, Vicente Guerrero, who's a darker Mexican because he was Afro mestizo, mother was Afro Mexican slave, and dad was mestizo. He fought in the Revolutionary War against Spain. Okay, and he became the second president. He's the one that outlawed slavery in Mexico. Okay, when he died, a lot of Anglos from the South, okay, you know, from the South, who was slave master like Sam Houston, came here without no papers. It was still Mexico. They had African American descendant slaves, mixed and pure. And the Mexican government declared that these slaves to be free. That's what caused the Alamo, because they didn't want to obey the law, the anti-slave law of Mexico. So when I hear a Mexican person tell me they no Spanish, no Mexican, and they don't have no black in it because they don't look black, they forget that there was a lot of race mixing. Unlike the United States, yes, I'm mixed because people tried to hide it, okay? You know what I'm saying? They had the one drop rule and blood quarters. You can't deny there was mixtures going on then, okay? All right? And Native American and white and black mixture. Many of us are mixed with that. We're not pure black Americans. We was declared as pure black to be a slave and to be mistreated and dehumanized during Jim Crow. That one drop rule is no longer law. Ever since they made Love vs. Virginia case, okay? With a partial black Native American woman, Mildred Loving, and her white husband, and she was classified as black. You know, her birth certificate did say American Indian on there. It's shocking, okay? They they couldn't marry, and they went, you know what I'm saying, and they went to Washington D.C. to get married. It was a legalized area to get married, okay, for interracial couples. But in Virginia, it wasn't allowed to. They fought in the Supreme Court, and they won in June 1967. 51 years later. And there are people still claim the one drop rule and think that it's still law because people in their local towns and states are still practicing when it's still illegal. Just like here in Texas. It took 3 years after slavery, the Emancipation Proclamation to be signed, and 3 years later that we here in Texas still practicing slavery. Y'all understand about Texas. This is the first state to be stolen from another country over issue of slavery, and the last state to still practice slavery after slavery was still illegal. Okay, 3 years later. Okay, so we celebrate Juneteenth, and I do celebrate Juneteenth, and during June. Okay, a couple more months I'll be celebrating some barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Some beans, potato salad, ribs, and chicken, all that other stuff. Okay, hello. All right. So truth of the matter, yes, I barbecue in the oven. I don't know how to barbecue. People have barbecue in the oven. But the truth of the matter is, that's the whole reason why we celebrate that, okay? Because they still was practicing slavery, even though it was still illegal. You know what I'm saying? That's why. So this is very unique, okay? How? So when you people don't know that the African ship, the slave ship, Spaniards were, besides the Portuguese, Spain was the ones who was part of the slave trade. They don't want to trade the slaves with the Africans first. Then it became the Dutch and the French and English. Okay, so all Spanish, like my other nigga is right, all Spanish colonies now today's Latin American countries, okay, had African slaves. I know you said what happened to slaves in Argentina? They mixed. Okay, there was no miscegenation laws in Latin America. The Catholic Church acknowledged it and encouraged it because we're all humans. I mean, that's part of my new faith since I was 13. I was an ex-Protestant. Okay, in white Protestant religions, like in certain parts of the Baptist Church, the Southern Baptist Church and the other, they, like even the Mormons, they was against interracial marriages because they interpreted the Bible the way they wanted to. But we all children of God, and y'all was, well, it said the Old Testament. Well, excuse me, then everybody came out of Africa, so like, y'all how it was, okay? And in the Old Testament, everybody was black, okay? In the beginning, before they started changing their languages and went to other parts of the world, okay, when they're trying to go to heaven, that tower. Then the Gentiles were also black, the Egyptians and everybody else, and also the Jews were black. So God was not against interracial marriage, y'all. He was against interfaith because the Jews believe in one God and the other people believe in more than one God that was not Yahweh, okay? That's the whole reason why he said it. Don't misinterpret the Bible. If a Gentile be, that's why even in Judah, that's why even Samuel Davis Jr., who's also part Latino as well, his mother was Cuban and lived in Puerto Rico. A lot of folks didn't know that. When he married his white Jewish wife, he had to convert to Judaism in order to marry her. Same thing in the Catholic Church. They do allow interfaith marriages, but they're encouraging that person to convert to Catholicism, okay? And in my case, I had to marry someone who's Catholic. My race she is, okay? And I preferred it because I want my faith, even though I'm not the perfect, but hopefully I do change and go and be faithful to my faith. And come up surprising and not like my evangelical upbringing. Don't hate it. No offense to anybody, but I want my children to be the same thing, and my wife, everybody in one house. Okay, so you get my point. No offense to interfaith marriages, but it costs a lot. And I came from my grandparents. Excuse me. Well, actually, my grandfather was a Gnostic, was a former coaching, and my grandmother was a Baptist, and they was clashing all the time. Okay, in the house, and like my dad's atheist, was trying to be a Muslim one period of time. So you get my point. So, I'm glad I didn't become a not a Muslim, but the fire come type. That's why I'm very anti. Okay, of that. So you get my point. That's why. Okay. So it was divided. Okay, and she thought she can try to change. My grandfather's a Leo, just like I am. He's July. He was July. You don't change Leos. We're leaders, okay? We're natural born leaders, okay? The Taurus are trying to do that mess. That's why they get a lot of drama and cry about and throw rocks and run, but they don't want to not get involved in the mess. They wouldn't have no problem, okay? And so stay in your lane. Then the Bible says, mind your business, okay? And 2 Thessalonians, 2 Paul said that, okay? A lot of folks don't know about that. I ain't perfect. I may cuss a lot, but I do read the scriptures and I know memorize these verses, okay? I was an ex-Baptist and became a Catholic later on, so I memorize a lot of things. Even when I go to you ever go to church and read the scriptures from the Messianic in the Mass, I memorize, especially if it's meaningful to me, I will admit that. But the truth of the matter is, that's why, okay? So you can't deny the fact that Africans were in Latin America, especially Mexico and other places, is that people don't look black because a lot of mixing happened. People mejero raza. And an idea came out, a lot of folks don't know, from Jose Vasconcelos, the La Raza Cosmica. He made that essay. He was born in Mexico, but he was raised in Texas. He lived in Texas, not raised. And so I think, in my opinion, my hypothesis, he got the one-drop rule in Jim Crow, and Mexico was open at the time to letting folks know they had black. Remember, they didn't want to open that doors to slaves, African American people who were slaves and those who were free, like the black Seminoles, the Crossfield Granada. That's why I support DACA. Okay, I thought talking about they should go back to Mexico. No. You don't know your history well. Mexico opened its doors to former slaves and also free people of color, African American descent. And when the white Anglo slave masters tried to go to Mexico to get a slave, the Mexican army whooped their, you know what? I'm the cuss here and talking about religion, whooped the ass. Okay, so you don't know your history. They don't teach that in school. It's sad. But once again, it's white racist history. You gotta shout these white teachers who being racist in school. I'm not shocked. That's why I learned about my multiracial background. And my multiracial background told me to get outside the classroom. And it's coming from God. And read outside the book. That's why I know about African mixture in Mexico before George Lopez did a DNA test and before Black and Latin America, Mexico, Peru, the Black grandma and cause. I've been taught about this for a long time. And being part of the multiracial movement, we talked about it was like how Latinos escaped the one drop rule. Well, a lot of folks don't know, when they took the Southwest away, okay, it was part of Mexico. White men did that. No brother, so anybody anti-black, get the white man who's racist, not the ones who don't come. That's one thing I understand. What's the black and brown racism from? But point is, okay, the white racist man took the Southwest besides Texas, stole it. They was kicking a lot of Mexican Americans out of that area. In order to make them, in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo bill, in order to make them citizens, was classify them as white. Socially, these folks knew they were not white. Okay? So they misclassified Latinos of mixed heritage as white. Okay? So that's the whole reason why it took a while. The Latinos were the first ones to have their first brown versus education before African American descended people. In Mendez versus Westheimer, Westminster, Mendez versus, and it was a Mexican Rican family, because people were trying to understand that Sylvia Mendez, her mother was Puerto Rican, lived in California, and her dad was Mexican American. They were the one who fought for Mexican and other Latino children to go to white schools before in 1930s, before the 20 years before brown versus education allowed integration in schools, so black folks were not pure black and white people come together. Okay, in 1954, the same year my dad was born. Okay, so point is, that's what you don't understand. And in LULAC, one thing that I get pissed off with, I love the old NAACP when Walter White was in charge, but it got screwed up after Martin King died, and especially when Benjamin Chavis was there, when he was friends with Farrakhan, and he left and became part of the Nation of Islam. They had they stole the idea from Elijah Muhammad's son about the folks understand that Farrakhan stole the idea about the Mean March. What's his name? Elijah Muhammad's son, who left his group, okay, because he didn't believe that Wallace's father was God, okay. But Elijah Muhammad did, because in Islam they don't believe in no man. Even if you look at us Christians, because we believe that Jesus is God, okay. They believe he's a prophet. So when he left, his own verse would include white people in there and other races, talking about Wallace Muhammad, whatever his name is, that's Elijah Muhammad's son, because they had an issue with that, and they no longer talked to each other, and he didn't like the fact that he no longer talked to his dad, and couldn't see his mama no more. Okay, well, he heard when they was trying to get a Mean March, Farrakhan heard where, I read that book by Verbal L. White, Inside Islam. He heard it, and he took the idea, and he made it back in 95. Benjamin Chavis left. So a lot of those ideas, that's why people think that the university is racist, those ideas came in. Folks remember the black nationalists was always intimidating the integrationists in the African community, the civil rights movements and stuff. So when we were against us, I got pissed off in the 90s with the NAACP in LULAC, because they came together and try to go against the multiracial category. They would allow us to have multiracial identity on the census. That's why we're able to check more than one ply, because they say, well, excuse me, since y'all want y'all, you can check more than one ply now. We can't have the multiracial because that causes racism, which is stupid. Time will be like South Africa color. Well, that same thing would happen. Latinos are African Americans, African, Spanish, and American, and come exotic looking, and you have black on brown, even though that we're not pure black, okay? So it's kind of weird to be saying that. But the truth of the matter is, they came together, along with, and it pisses me off, because we in the multiracial movement trying to get a multiracial category on the census. I was gonna check in 2000, before I turned 21, okay? But I ended up checking the 3 boxes. Anyway, we were trying to get so we can get recognition with multiracial, and a lot of people would check that, because a lot of Americans, no matter what they look like and what they was raised, think they were, that we're all multiracial. Majority of us, many of us are not pure black, or pure white, or pure Asian, pure native, or anything. Okay, so the truth of the matter is, we unite the country. before Obama became president, okay, but they allowed it, okay? But the truth, that's what happened. When we backtrack, LULAC here in Texas, they don't want to advocate Latinos to be classified as white. Okay, they didn't want anything to do with the NAACP back in the day when Walter White. They was happy the fact that the government was trying to shift that and put Spanish, even though that's a European nationality, but Spanish is a separate racial category because white folks, real white people, didn't want Mexicans to be classified as white in one period of time. So you hear that? Yeah, I get my point. And that's why you have Latinos checking white today. And that question go back to the Veronica Vega. Do you check white and say you're black socially? You know what I'm saying? And I saw like this. Well, we have to, because census and people, they don't know your rights. As a multi-racial person, I'm gonna let you know. And for the multi-racial movement, you do have a right to check more than one box on the census. Okay, since 2000, I did. Okay, so like I had to be checking black, white, Native American, Hispanic origin to put Spanish Creole, from Spain because Spain came to Louisiana and mixed with some black person besides the French. Okay, all right. So truth of the matter is that's how I am. Okay, I'm very proud of my mixed background. I ain't got no regrets being proud of them that God gave me. And yeah, bad things happen. Okay, but whose background ain't all with bad people in it? Okay, all humans. But truth of the matter is, you had Africans giving slaves to other our African slaves, enslaved ancestors to our white ancestors. So how you can, they rate well if it go both ways. Both parties were greedy. The Europeans and the Africans who sold other Africans, okay, from other tribes. So both parties are guilty, okay. So if none of it happened, you didn't have nobody raping, whatever, killing, okay, lynching and all the other stuff, okay. Call it like it is, all right. So I attack both sides of the situation, okay. Now, and I remind you, every time I deal with an African person from Africa who don't like us and mistreat us and talk to me crazy, it remind me who just okay, well, it's not my fault. Then your ancestors, they were part of the slave trade. They gave my African ancestors to my white ancestors, and they don't mix the name America when they came here. So don't get mad about me not practicing your culture. It's my culture, but I don't know too much about it. That's not my fault. Y'all were greedy. Both parties were greedy. So it's called like it is. Okay? So that's the whole reason why that people don't understand. And that gets a lot of people because we had incidents of Latinos taking sides with whites. We have a Colombian guy that are talking about that's trying to sympathize with white supremacist people. You have a guy who's Puerto Rican who was beating up, helping the white racist thugs beat up on DeAndre Harris. You have George Zimmer, okay, shooting Trayvon. You had Yanez. The list goes on. What happened here in Texas with Sandra Bland. Brian Encina is Latino, and what he did trying to infiltrate the white supremacists, even though he's not a full-blown white person, he was Spanish and African, okay? So it is what it is, and that's what people, and when Veronica was bashing Amala Negra not being sympathetic to her struggle and betrayed her by trying to go with Young Hollywood to get her career started, even though Young was being racist towards her, that's the reason why people don't want her to call her black. And then use the word nigga. Because when you hear the word nigga, they think of a Yanez, Zimmer, or anybody that's Hispanic who Gonzalez here in Houston, who HPD officer who shot Miss Delaney in 1990, okay? You know what I'm saying? What happened with the black and brown racism in California, okay? That's what they're thinking, okay? They're not thinking about somebody, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing, it's a Mexican dude that had more battery, okay? It's a Mexican dude in my at the one of the jobs I was working, jobs I was working recently, when I'm doing janitorial work, and he's like I said, he's from Jersey. I thought he was Puerto Rican when I first saw him. He's not. He's Mexican descent, and in South America, he's one of the that's from Uruguay, and that's South America, but not far from Chile. Okay, got it. Please do your because I don't feel like discussing other countries you don't know too much about. Go on the map and look for it. Okay, and he said, I'm black, just like, and you can tell about that Negro nose. He got black DNA, whether he's from Afro-Latino from Uruguay or Afro-Mexican, his roots. And when he likes sisters and all that, and I'm not against that, okay? But when he used the word nigga, I went to a Hispanic school, and I heard, remember, it used to be white school. And sometimes Latinos at my school who are even the ones who are Puerto Rican, but mostly Mexican descent, will try to sympathize with white supremacist people, okay, in our community, in our school. And it's funny, those people that was kissing their ass left that town where I'm from to go someplace else and left the resource, like, resources and everything else, and became a ghetto barrio school with a cholo thugs. Okay? And they would call these Mexicans out, and they'll be worried everything behind closed doors. But yeah, you was trying to kiss their ass and call me and them, make all the anti-black jokes. Okay, so that's what comes up in our head. And I think Veronica Vega, I'm okay with notching your partial black roots, whether it's from the Venezuelan side or the Cuban side or both. But like, for example, we go ahead and use who's Mexican, Cuban. I can't stand that bitch. I can't stand Camila Cabello, who she did to Narami. Okay, from in referring to people to niggas and stuff. That's what coming in our head. Everybody's calling her racist. That's what coming. Even George Lopez made it. Don't be a black person home joke. Okay, if I made jokes about some people with a hat, don't go to Mexican or Puerto Rican. Okay, y'all get my point. You will get offended. I'm making a joke out of it, but it's not a joke. It's something serious. That's hurtful. It's very disrespectful. So that's why that people do not want her to claim black. Okay, she don't understand that she playing two sides of coin. One day she want to be hood and call herself black, and then all of a sudden she want to say the word nigga and not be sent there to a dark skinned Afro Latina Afro mestiza because her mother's not pure black. I don't care how dark she is. Her mother's lighter than her. Okay, she came out of her womb. She's still mixed. Okay, I don't care how dark she is. She's still mixed. Okay, mixed is mixed. Can we stop trying to deny someone's mixed hair because of racist attitudes? If you have mixed ancestry, that's not my fault. Cuss God out. Okay, your mixed ancestry define who you are. You are mixed. I'm proud of my mixed heritage. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for mixing. Okay, so truth of the matter is, so that's the whole reason why that she went sit there in the colorism situation, and everybody saw it and referred her as a racist, and she tried to fight over, Young Hollywood's dick. Okay, call it like it is. You know what I'm saying? And for his career, like he's the only producer. You work with Giancarlo and Pitbull, and you still ain't relevant, Miss Veronica. Come on, Veronica, Vega, okay, Vega, okay. Veronica Vega didn't understand that you have credentials compared to Young Hollywood. Yeah, he worked behind the scenes, but he don't make good. I mean, the attitude he showed, don't like he walked his ass out of. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why. And she needs to do more research on that word nigga. And I think we stop referring to us as nigga. If I can't call you speaking way back, I'm more part Hispanic, Spanish, Creole, and it's a hurtful. I mean, I laugh so called. I've been called way back before. Yes, I have. I've been called on social media. They ain't know who I was defending Latino group, immigration rights and everything. And I've been called a spick. Someone saw my face on Facebook, and I mentioned I'm Mr. Spanish, Creole, part Hispanic as well. Someone who was anti-Cali and Hispanic called me a spick. Okay, but to someone who lived through that racism, being Hispanic of color, being, would it be a mestizo looking, Afro mestizo or mulatto, whatever, darker, look ethnic or look white, but have mixed ancestry, and you finally admit that you're mixed, and folks, and you're from a Hispanic country, and white folks know you're not full blown white. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You're called as racial because you have color, because your ancestry is mixed with Spanish and black and native and maybe Asians or whatever. Okay, that person go through the experience. So when we heard nigga, I had bad experience with that word. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna be saying what's up my spirit. You know what I'm saying? Know that it's hurtful. So when you say that, it's no different those terms. And I think that people in our community stop being uneducated. Stop telling people that you can use the N word. Stop exploring yourself. You're making your aunt your mama instead of fetch out yourself. You call yourself a nigga. Call it like this. Or nigga. I heard that too. It doesn't make any sense. You're going with Ku Klux Klan mentality. Okay? When you degrade yourself, degrade your heritage, calling yourself a nigga. Okay? So a nigga and nigga same thing to me. Okay? It's different spelling. It's a Ebonic version of the word nigger. Okay? So at the same time, when she started using the N word and started being conscious about racial policies and racial racism and people who are hurt by colors and racism, then people acknowledge who she is. Okay? But all that old nigga shit and calling folks nigga and not being seen and thinking that I'm better than you because I'm lighter than you situation, you're playing two sides of the coin. So that's why folks, and I had to call it out. Okay? It is what it is. People do want to see Latinos submit their mix with African, Spanish. I think on the sense you should check all them boxes. You're able to do that. Stop putting white. Stop putting on the native. Stop putting on the black. I mean, I can't tell someone, but it'd be nice to see all your heritage allowed on the census. You have the ability to do that. There's no excuse. I do it all the time. I check, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to deny my heritage for some white racist one drop rule. They helped me to be a slave or have me be oppressed through white supremacy. I'm going to debunk it while checking everything that's on my background. Because without those mixed ancestors and different races in me, I would not be here talking to you today. That's all I'll say. If you hate it, I don't give a damn. I'm not kind of kiss somebody else. I kiss my own ass. Okay, thank you. At the end of the day, we're all mixed. Majority of us. And I think it's sad that people think being mixed is a curse. It's not. It's a blessing. Embrace it. Okay? But at the same time, Veronica, Vega, stop using the N-word. Stop not being sensitive that those who are darker than you. You, like you said, you like the only nigga in the room. I hate the N-word. I'm referring to that, but you say that on you know what I'm saying? White folks, yeah, they know that them dog roots and them 80 features on your face, you're not no full-blown white girl. You know you can pass. But once they see them take them shades off and them edges, okay, the new growth of your hair, the dog roots and stuff, they know that, and you have your last name Vega, they know that majority of people with that last name, you know, is Spanish, because a lot of Spanish will come to America, okay? That's a long time. You got Spanish, I put it in the group, but I'm talking about majority of people with those Spanish last names are mixed, okay? Of ethnic people of color, okay? They're not full-blown Spanish, so they know that you're what they call mud race mix, okay? So that's why. But when you around African American people who are uneducated, I call it like it is, and Trina, stop going on with the buffoonery. An Asian person calling because use the word nigga. See how that's why they had they're banning hip hop in China and they put the monkey next to the black person thing. You get my point. It's buffoonery. It's minstrel behavior when you use that word nigga. I hate that word. You're making a minstrel show Aunt Jemima and Amos and Andy out of yourselves when you use the word nigga. My people African American say stop it, okay? You love yourself, stop to distract yourself with the word. But if I can call an Asian person chink, okay, or any other anti-Asian word, they shouldn't call me nigga. You know what I'm saying? Stop asking the world to respect you and then scream Black Lives Matter and hands up those shit because the reason why they don't respect you because they see the disrespect you're doing to yourself. And I understand myself as an African American person as well, but I don't go around calling myself a nigga. I don't exploit myself. Okay? But those who do, that's why we have this old hands to the shoe and Black Lives Matter. People not sympathetic to our racism because they treat us like we're not human when you don't treat your own self as human. But stop hanging around with uneducated people, sister. Talking about Veronica Vega. Like I say, bye.